Rightio. Rightio. How foreign this feels. Not really, to be honest. But from last Friday, it kind of feels that sense. Or I should say Thursday. Um, yeah, I thought I'd stream today. Ideally would have been good to have Friday night and Saturday afternoon, but I'll regress on that. I'm not gonna go into it heaps. Looking forward though to sitting back and actually watch an opening round game, hopefully without any negative thoughts. We'll see if there's any chat. I just scheduled this stream a minute ago. I'm not gonna lie, so I won't really be expecting a huge deal early on. Oh, they're actually people. All right, cool. We've got people to talk to. All right. If there are any questions about anything that you guys want, let me know. In direction perhaps not a lot of stuff on the channel, or not really too much transparency, perhaps. I don't know. What was your big call for Giants Hawks? It was... What was it? Doesn't matter. I got the Sydney v Carlton one right, so it doesn't really matter. Ash and Whitfield to go on for 60 disposals. I did watch that game without the commentary. I've been trying to, not for every game, but when I can get the opportunity to, if I'm watching a game. Because most of the time, like last year, like 90% of the games, probably 95% of the games that were on throughout the season, I was either at for part of it, streaming, or at someone's house watching it, or at like the pub. There was never really many moments where I was sitting down to watch the game. But Blake, you were on the stream on Thursday. You don't know how badly I felt after the stream. I thought it was my worst performance I've ever had on a live stream. I broke down into tears, and I was just, what the hell has happened to KO? Oh, I've got to click on the new stream, and my fucking controller might be flat. I just absolutely felt directionless, and I felt like everyone was eating me up. Everything was eating me up. I couldn't get my words out. Nothing was working. I didn't have... I knew I had to do the ladder prediction. I knew I had to film it, but I just didn't have the mental capacity to film and all that stuff. And it only took me until today to really actually dive into it. And I've been feeling a lot better than I have in the last week. Still a few down moments, but it is like 80% recorded. I was just comparing myself to so many other people with their ladder predictions. I'm just like, oh shit, I don't know how, because I'm not the best person when it comes to analyzing and articulating bits and pieces of information, putting things together. I'm someone who can't formulate an opinion that well, contrary to what you guys might think as someone that has a footy channel with 56k subscribers. So when I was doing it, I was just thinking people are going to judge me. I just wasn't really active with the comments, the emails, anything like that. I'd go on YouTube, I'd watch other people's predictions, I'd jot down notes, I'd change it. I've never had that feeling ever. It was completely fucked. But anyways, I didn't end up wanting to release it because, I mean, I'm not going to release it like at 6 o'clock. And I figured to myself, well, I've done the grunt of the work, most of it. I've got a good basis of what I want to actually do for the rest of, well, for the year, like genuinely, like just life-wise and all that. So what I've decided to do is let that all go and stream the Bulldogs v Brisbane game. And hopefully, even if we have 30 viewers, I'm not really going to... And sorry to Jay Tomo if he's watching, or if he's found out that I've just stolen his viewers. It's fucking opening round, and I can't just be left sitting on the sidelines thinking, what if? Plus, tomorrow's the St Kilda v Collingwood game, and I've got to formulate a plan on how I can get that to do well. But I will say one thing, though. You got your first two big calls right. Yeah, well, what happened in the Hawthorn v GWS game? Nah, Lockie Whitfield and Lockie Ash didn't even come close. Lockie Ash only 20 disposals? That was a weird game. And I'm looking at the fantasy scores, and I'm like, not a single player was over 100, yet it was a really high-scoring matchup. It looked like GWS kind of bullied the Hawks in a lot of areas. High inside 50 counts. Not a lot of defensive pressure. But we're underway. We are underway here at the Gabba for this game. I haven't got the commentary turned on, so if you wanted commentary, well, you could just watch the game. This is a reaction where I just talk about parts of the game, and I'm not providing any in-depth analysis, or at least not as good as the commentators on Channel 7 or Fox Footy or whatever. Let me just reset the Brisbane scores. I was just testing things out because of the last stream I was really annoyed with how things weren't working, and it would show on the stream my frustrations. People watching this game from an apartment. Yeah, I think that's really cool how that is a possibility that you can watch the footy from up there at the Gabba. So I don't know about Norton. I really don't know if he's a player that will stay in the forward line. I'd like to get more of an insight on Dog supporters because, again, I don't want to just guess and speculate, but I feel like Norton, he's a confidence player, and he only seems to get going really in the games where he's playing against the lower opponents. Wouldn't it be a shocking idea to see if he's all right, like as a replacement for a key defender, and have him there for a few weeks? Because he's got that flight. He could be a really good intercept, or just like a one of those players that can like just fit that role really well. But I could be wrong. Just have had that thought. What's going on, Raksha? Alex, keep your head up. I like your videos, and all you do is take your time. I appreciate it, mate. I'm not sure if any of you guys were on the stream on Thursday. I don't want to mention it again because I kind of want to let it past me, but it could be that moment of realization where things were like, yeah, I probably was not ready that night to stream. Everything's felt rusty and fumbly. There'll be moments of that on the stream probably as well. Solid start though for the Bulldogs. Hey, they didn't concede a goal on their first inside 50 for the Lions. Brisbane have only scored 100 points or more one time in the last 16 games at the Gabba, by the way. Well, if you take away finals. Saturday night should be Channel 7 apps. Oh, that's shit. You're right. You can't even watch this on free-to-air. Because I said before, oh yeah, that the Channel 7 commentary's probably got it covered. They're not even covering this game. And Rory Lobb's got another haircut. I wonder if I'll be doing many haircuts this year. I probably will end up doing that, but it's gonna probably not be straight away. I feel like it's gonna take extra time to get into the flow of things this season. Just taking it week by week. So great, Howler. Oh, you can't watch the game? I'd give you my KO login, but I also feel like that's a bad idea. I remember once I did that with my Foxtel Go, and it wasn't mine, it was my dad's. And it got shared around, and then a couple things led to another, and essentially I could never use it. And that's when I used to watch the footy on Foxtel Go. I'd watch it up here in my room like I normally do, and then it would just keep turning off because other screens were using it. But we don't have Foxtel anymore. We only use KO, Binge, Netflix. I do have a Sammy Stan as well, because I drove him home from the Ballarat game. I said, if I do that, give me your Stan for a month. I'll hold him to it. This opening round is shit. Yeah, we haven't really seen a very close shit. In what way? Like, not a very exciting opening round. It has just been very dominant by the sides from up north, or the Sydney and Queensland side. So it's probably a big win for the AFL. They want to grow the game in these states, and the teams up there are actually performing quite well. GWS, not as sure if they're going to be as strong as Gold Coast and Sydney, as Charlie Cameron kicks the first goal for the Lions to open the account. Maybe having the commentary off is a good thing. I don't know. Do you guys prefer watching the footy with commentary or without commentary? I'd say definitely with commentary, but you can always go without it every now and then. I thought the scoreboard wasn't going to freeze like that. Is it because I'm streaming and that only it's doing it when I'm streaming? Because it doesn't do it when I'm recording. Whatever, it's too late to worry about that. I don't know if you're being serious with that comment, Blake, going to bed early, mate. You wouldn't be, right? Surely. Someone mentioned there was an update on AFL 26, but I don't think I'll be playing it anytime soon, to be honest. I haven't really got any intention to get that going back up on the channel unless I start to become alright at the game. Maybe I'll just take a little bit more time behind the scenes and learn the mechanics and shit like that. But it'd be nice to bring back a little bit of AFL 26 onto the channel in a fun way with other creators. Anyways, Dogs have the attack here and they screw it up. Liberatore's down. Could be my Buns Wi-Fi. What about your Buns? What's the stream? Oh, don't tell me it's choppy for me. Don't tell me it's choppy for you guys. Don't tell me the internet's having problems now, is it? Put on commentary. I've got the game on my monitor and my PlayStation, so I couldn't do it if I wanted to unless I chucked it on the other. What the hell? Is it choppy now? More like the worst AFL 26 player known to me. I can beat the real rookies that haven't played the game before, but when it comes to anyone that's got any form of an idea how to play the game, it doesn't seem to be the case. You need more gaming videos. I've only made a couple of AFL 26 videos ever. Or it might just be the one. It might have just been the review. Damn, we are freaking lagging. I'll have to figure out why that's the case. You'd think with 6 years of experience, I'd always be on top of it and know, but you can't always control that sort of stuff. It looks like we're good now, though. I just don't know if it's lagging a little bit. They're all saying that it is. Someone is saying, fuck's sakes. Is it because of my lag, or is it because something in your life just occurred that has caused an inconvenience? It probably is better having commentary on to sort of have an idea of what's going on, because the commentators provide a nice overview of what teams are dominating transition, what teams are getting the defensive game right. Sometimes you miss that when you're trying to do a few things at once. Where are my ladder predictions? I'm genuinely, I'm super sorry that I haven't released them yet, and I have made all these excuses and promises. But if you haven't caught up, I have really been under the weather, and not sickness-wise. That'd be a whole different story. I just feeling a lot of self-doubt and uncertainty and just mental demons, essentially. Just mental health has not been great at all, and it hasn't been. I've just been experiencing things that I haven't experienced before, but it's fine. It happens to everyone, I guess. I've been talking to people about it to try and get me feeling better, but I just wasn't really in the right mood to even. And I feel guilty about like saying that, oh yeah, I'll post tomorrow, but it won't happen. Rest be short, I have spent all day on it. So like it took me 5.5 hours to write the script, and it took me 4.5 hours to film. That's how difficult it was for me, but I still got it done. So that's why it's going to take a little bit of extra time to feel like the mojo's back and running in 2026. But at least I'm here for the ride, and I want to continue and do it all. Zach Bailey should be watching more of the game instead of talking about my personal life. It's not that interesting. Hasn't missed a goal from there, apart from once, from 11 kicks. Hopefully he can come to St Kilda. Just offer him enough money and he might just say yes. He's kicked the goal. The Lions have kicked their second. And last time a goal was scored, it fucked the whole stream. So I'm going to just see if that is the real case or if it was just a coincidence. It only does it when I stream. Like I can do all the planning in the world for when I'm not streaming, but when I'm actually streaming, I click that button, it just fucks up, and I don't know why. Really, shit. It's awkward sitting in silence without commentary. For this stream, because at the end of the day, I don't think the stream needs, it shouldn't need commentary. It shouldn't need it if I'm providing my own take. It might be I might not be providing what the experts are providing, but you're not there to watch that. You're there to sort of, sit back and watch the stream from a different perspective. So I don't know what you want me to do. I'm not going to just appeal to you because one person wants commentary. The only way I can get commentary is if I watch the game on my laptop, and I'm not doing that because I've got it on my PlayStation. I'm happy with that. Take a hiatus if you want to. Well, I technically already did take a hiatus in some sense. I just didn't really like plan to. And by that I meant like early in the year when I didn't post for a very long time. But I didn't really care that much though. It's a lot of a different feeling. It's when the footy's on. I am aware of Coast Club. It's frozen again. Let's just see what it's like on the stream then. I'll just load it up on my phone. Let's get that like count to 100. We'll set a realistic goal, not a goal that is too difficult because we've been able to hit 100 before multiple occasions. Because Sam Darcy missed that. He has. What are Sam Darcy's expectations for 2024, 2026? Is that going to cause the stream to... Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to ditch the scoreboard, like, in the round 1 streams, because I do round 1 streams. Let's see what it's like. If it's shit, just bear with me. So English, Fraser, Bontempelli along the ground. Come on, Dogs. Not a good handball. Darcy's expectations for 2024. A good handball. I don't see an issue with it right now. Come on, Norton, take the freaking mark. Artie Jones, nice creativity. And the Dogs get their first goal through Ed Richards. It's 1 point for the Western Bulldogs. That's 2 points. 1 goal, 2. I'm afraid to add a tally to the score there, so I'm just going to do this instead. And that works. It's fine. Sometimes it goes... And that's the thing. It reduces the overall consistency of the stream when it just does that. At least... I'm actually glad you're mentioning it, though. I'd rather like people mention the those little errors on the stream as opposed to just... Oh, yeah, it's fine. It's not fine. Been in the game for 6 years, and I don't want the quality to just feel like it's going down. I want it to at least stay the same, if not go up. How the fuck did I drop out of the top 3 unemployed people? Help me. I love how you call it the top 3 unemployed people. It sort of is that sense. I'm pretty sure it resets every stream though. So if you just keep messaging random crap, I don't know like how they use the rankings. I think if you chat, well actually, if we're talking about the XP, 16 people are all on 75. And it's just for this stream though. So the more minutes you join, the more you would need to talk. Although I've seen some names there that I haven't had chat all stream. The chat is slow. Mate, the chat has been like probably twice as good as last stream, to be honest. So Brisbane go into attack now. Zach Bailey, and he runs his full measure. Has Karmas got there? I don't think he has. No, the umpire's going to call it a goal. So the Lions have kicked 3 goals to the Dogs 2. And we'll get a 10-point lead. No, it's not a stupid question, just because it might seem obvious. Holden, or however I want to pronounce, however you want me to pronounce your name. I will be going to the St Kilda game tomorrow, and I'll be sitting level 2, I think 6, 7 rows down from the front. Yeah, pretty close to all the action, and I assumedly want to get there with quite a lot of time to spare. Actually, wait, that is touched. How can the angles in 2026 be so bad? That looks like a security camera. Actually, there are security cameras that have better quality footage than that. Well, I think that's touched, but they might not call it. So I'm not listening to the commentary, so I don't know what they're saying behind the it's behind. So I'll change that to 13. Yeah, goal umpire was in the right spot as well, so he should have made the right call there. That was a little bit of an error of judgment from his behalf, but whatever. It just slows the game down, which is what the AFL don't want. Do you know whose season is over, mate? Carlton's. Genuinely, that was absolute, and not just Carlton's, Geelong's, Hawthorn's. Yeah, we're probably exaggerating with some of these calls, but Geelong looked so off the pace. And then in the third quarter, I think it was like the third quarter, they were down by like 80 odd or some state, 85. I think it was 85 points, and then they started to just eat at the margins to make it look a little bit more respectable. But you could tell the Gold Coast knew the game was won and didn't have as much urgency. There was probably no requirement to go 4 quarters. Probably tough as well to do that. Why do some of the creators have the Cats finishing first? Makes sense to have the Cats at 9. Obviously, I can't say where I had the Cats, and people are going to think, and that's the annoying thing, but it's just what you're going to get when you post those videos late. People are going to be like, oh, well, you know, you threw this video out 3 days after the season started. You could have just made those adjustments and changed them as the games progress. But obviously I didn't do that. And for the 2 games today, I recorded it without even knowing those results. But I had a lot of the stuff written down beforehand. As Kennedy Marks inside the 50 was a really strong recruit. I really liked Kennedy in the midfield last year. And he kicked like a goal a game. So if he can just continue that form heading into 2026, it could just, you know, be another reason why the Bulldogs might actually make that climb. But I don't know if they'll make that climb. I don't know what you think, Blake. You didn't really do it. Did you do a ladder prediction? Because I don't think I've seen it. Everyone else probably has. He's kicked the goal, Kennedy. Dog stain. No, he hasn't. Where was I looking at? That actually looked like they went through. Can Sam Darcy deliver on the hype? How many full seasons has Sam Darcy even played, though? He's played 3. Right. Well, full season. So I think he made his debut in 2022, but he played like 3 games, and like obviously he was really raw. I don't think he played in 2023. 2024, he got more consistency. 2025, he emerged himself. Obviously I think he kicked like 50 goals. So with how young he is and how much potential he's got with his attributes, you'd be surprised if he doesn't. Be surprised if he doesn't kick 65 goals, 70 this year. Rayner will kick that out in the full. He might be kicking it to Ethan in the crowd. Well done, Matt Kennedy. Well, you should be slotting it from those positions, 30 metres out. Don't care who you are. Dogs will go long. Okay, they're looking at how quickly do they want to move the footy? Quickly enough. And that's okay. Riley West, he plays on. And there's no one there. All right. Bruce Reville. Good tackling pressure. They might get one here. Croft. Fuck! Croft, he's missed it from 15 out. I like this guy and I want him to do well, but if he's doing that, he's going to give Beveridge a freaking cardiac arrest. When you're missing them from that close out. 1 goal's 4-4. That shouldn't be like that. Blake says he has 1 Swans, 2 Suns, 3 Lions, 4 Crows, 5 Freo, 6 Dogs, 7 Hawks, 8 Saints. Yeah, once again, I can't really say a lot, but I'm in agreement with most of your positions. Like, I'm not really going to be changing too many of them around. Geelong in 9, though. You're looking good with that call after Friday, but you just don't want to be too reactionary with that yet. Oh, Kermit the Frog's joined the stream. Not the only time. I think we've seen Kermit the Frog a few times on the streams. You should get your other Muppet friends. Who are Miss Piggy and who are the other Muppets? I'll tell you who are Muppets right now. The bloody goal umpires making mistakes in this game when they should have eyes. Aren't they sponsored? Weren't they sponsored by OPSM? That was like Cooper Sharman against the Bombers. What was like Cooper Sharman? Oh, no, it wasn't like that. Cooper Sharman will never kick a footy like that again in his life. 5 meters out and he bloody misses, hits the post. Even the commentators are like, he's put that through because you just expect him to. If anyone didn't see that, yeah, you wouldn't want to see it. Should go to the top, and he does. Norton, can he find a target? He didn't go quick enough. Davidson doesn't get there. And well cut off by, I'd love to know who that is, but I don't actually know who that was that cut 21 for, is that Marshall? Who is 21 for Brisbane? I'm going to just double check so I don't feel like an idiot here. It is, oh, I've got Zane Zacko. It has to be his first game. There's Oscar Allen. Do you have the hope for the pretty high optimism? I think as high as I've ever had, whilst being making content. Even probably higher than 2020 because there were some uncertainties over 2020 because of the COVID year, and that's not going to. Oh, Norton's how's he kept that in? And he just does not favour Davidson whatsoever, and that's never going to work. Isn't it supposed to be pre? Why is it pre? Was it pre the whole time? Lob's 200th game. He's got new hair, but he has new hair every second week, so it's probably got nothing to do with it being his 200th game. Kennedy goes high. Way to the ball drop. Zorko can't get to it. Crashing the pack. Andrews is trying to just muster over the line. He'll get the rush behind. So 13-11. Not being the most prettier games, to be honest. Hopefully, if it's going to be like this, scrappy, which I'm not expecting it. I'm not really expecting too much of a scrap. Hopefully, it can stay close. Are you going to Collingwood v. Saint? Yeah, I am. How long do you think Jacksonville plays before he gets injured? Ideally all year. He'll probably get injured again though. Like, I understand why you're saying, oh yeah, he's so injury prone. But when he's on the park, I just want to see his best ability footy wise because his best footy's in our best 23. I'm not gonna make a prediction for that though. It's a shit prediction to make. So I'm saying there won't be at the moment he gets injured. I don't want to say he gets injured. I was already concerned enough when I watched the concussion. That's a bad record, only 13 games straight. Well, he's a St Kilda player now, so his luck will change. You saw Lockie on Aussie Idol. No, you didn't. Lockie Miller. Which Lockie are you talking about? On Aussie Idol. What would he be doing on Australian Idol? You know, singing about his gambling problem? Or showing how to win at the pokies as a talent? How am I feeling about Liam Ryan? Well, I like how it feels like he's connected to the group pretty well. He's got a close bond with Naz, and they've got great chemistry together, and he's going to provide a lot of excitement. He won't get a lot of disposals per possession, but he'll use the ball, very creatively, and he'll get the most impact per possession. So yeah, like the best 23, and when he's actually playing for a team that'll actually perform better than West Coast, I think he'll put more effort in. He looks fit. He looks like him. Did you see Phoenix Gothard's? I wasn't paying like too close attention to how his game was because I sort of had the game on like half in the background, half sort of watching. I noticed Stringer somehow kicked 5. That was something that did take my notice. Phoenix Gothard. Well, what did you make of his game then, mate? If you threw the question out, was he impactful? Kicked the goal, had 10 disposals. Again, I can't read it too much from stats. 75% time on ground. Who's your tip for the Brownlow? None of those predictions I'm going to make because I didn't just make him my later prediction. So we'll just wait. Like I've got the video file just about done. 11 a.m. tomorrow. And the line's going to mark inside 50. That's the guy's name. I can't really pronounce his name. And because the commentary's not... Should we get commentary? All right, fuck it. Commentary, I'll get commentary on at quarter time. 50-minute penalty. He was 51, 2023 National Draft, pick 51. Zane Zakoletsky. Seems like sort of a cult figure type name, in all honesty. Kicks the goal, though. And they're all going to get around him clearly. It's his first goal in his career. And he was playing defense in the first 10 minutes. So what's he doing in the forward line? I've got no idea. I'm lost. Probably no one else has any idea in the chat, unless you can put it in. What was your prediction for Collingwood v Saints? Arm wrestle for 2.5 quarters. Saints break away and win by 4 goals. It's not even optimistic. It's a realistic one. We're favourites now, so need to make advantage of the punters backing us in. We got to actually be like, all right, well, instead of being the hunted, we're the hunter. Or other way around, we're the hunted instead of being the hunter, which we probably perform better when we don't have the pressure. Like when it's like, oh yeah, nothing to play for, you're the underdogs. Normally, we actually play better, weirdly enough. So there's a little bit of doubt, but I think the team is mature enough this season to win against the Pies. I have a feeling, Blue Bagger, you're going to tip the Pies. You have something again. You have a vendetta against the Saints. You thought the Lions would bury the Dogs? I didn't think the Lions would bury the Dogs at all. There's Tim English. Surely he provides just an extra dominant figure as a target, and he just needs to assert himself in this game over forward. Nasario versus Nick Dacos. Oh, it's probably still Nick Dacos. I'm not going to just say Nick Nasario because I'm a Segura supporter and he's rising to fame pretty quickly. I still think Dacos has overall at least more credits to his name. So we'll just wait a little bit, put a bit more respect on him. And that is we need to see him for the first half of the year, do what he did in the back end of last year. And if he's adding more goaling chances and he can maybe get 15, 20 goals in the first 12, 13 rounds, I doubt Dacos will be doing anything like that. He was a former basketballer. All right, yeah. Interesting. Jasper Fletcher goes backwards, retreats, and Garner takes a weird diving mark for no real apparent reason. Darcy Garner, been on the Brisbane Lions list for quite a while. Really solid server. Haven't seen a lot of Buku. Richards has been busy and something... Oh no, they didn't blow a whistle. I think it's advantage from 55 out. Who's in the square? Gardner's there and he punches it back to the field of play. What's he doing that for? Rookie mistake. Norton goes high and that'll be another point. So the 1-6, the Dogs. A lot of them have been rushed. They've had a few chances. Do you think the trades this year were good and worth it? Yeah. Our trades, yeah. But we haven't played a game yet with this new group, so I can't really make an overall assessment on it until maybe a year or two goes past. But so far, it looks pretty promising, doesn't it? Who are your chat mods? They're not on the stream right now. So I'll have to be doing the modding. It's only really 1 or 2, to be honest with you, that are holding it back for everyone else. And by everyone else, who the fuck cares? Gooning time, if that's the person you're talking about. Dacos has had the best career of all time from the 2022 grand final, 3-time nearly winning the Brownlow. Yeah, and he's been able to shake off the tag better as well. A lot of teams are putting their real full attention onto Dacos, and he's done all right to avoid that as much, I guess, as his career has continued. That's what he's added to his game. Bontempelli, that's not the best kick. He still gets to it. And it's going to bounce his way. Bontempelli kicks the Bulldogs' second goal. And the Dogs were within 1 point with not long to go in this first quarter. Jeez. Real rust in my voice today. Do you think the Saints signing Max King to 2032 was a bad choice? He's been injured for 2 years in a row. It's unfortunate for Max King, though. Like, he isn't wanting to be a detriment to the playing group. And I think he still, when he comes to the side and he can get, hopefully, just fit, just like his brother, Ben King. Like, his body has been, has plagued him for a very long time. So far, yeah, obviously it doesn't look great having him on to 2032, but at the moment, we're playing all right without him, so he's just at the moment going to sort of seem to be a bonus. But yeah, disappointing. I watched the Real Men play last night, and fuck off. Fuck off, mate. Ben King's probably going to end up being the better player, but I still back my boy in Max King. Oh, I dropped Mark Oscar Allen. Fumbly. Really fumbly. Dogs probably should be in front. I'll have a look at some of the stats here. Just get a little bit of a read. Well, they've got more inside 50s. They've got 5-1 centre clearances. Brisbane are controlling the other territory with the marking game, though, 33-17. And Dogs will get a mark inside 50 here. So, sorry. Bailey Williams. Bailey Williams will have a shot, probably on the siren. Harris has been, yeah, definitely on top at the moment. Darcy had one opportunity, but I don't think he's had a touch since then. Or a part. Oh, hit the post. Damn. Well, they're in the game, the Dogs. It's pretty even. I'd say they've arguably been a little bit more classy with the footy, but overall they just can't seem to get the finish product working up in front of goals. And they're 2-7. It's not the what the fuck? 7-6? Keeping track of the game here as it's not showing on free-to-air in Queensland. Could that be why a couple of extra numbers have sort of joined randomly as I only just started not that long ago? I sort of abruptly put this stream on like 5 minutes before the start. Is it because it's not on free-to-air? And they have no other means of getting any coverage? I'd hope that's not the case. Did you rub it in Lockie's face? No, I didn't. I didn't really talk to him. He's stuck in Gold Coast till Wednesday, so you do feel for him in a way. Like, what the hell is he going to do now for 4 more days with that result stinging in the back of his mind? But knowing Lockie, he's probably going to think they'll bounce back and win by 60 next week. When is my ladder out? Well, I did film it today, actually. I know I've made a few promises. I'm not sure if you know, but I've been feeling pretty shit mentally. So I don't want to use it as an excuse, but sometimes it just you do find things a lot more difficult. And I just found it a real challenge to actually do something like a ladder prediction, where you got to put your mind to it to think of where you have certain sides. I did have a list already before the season and all that, but I just didn't have any more than that, really. So kind of had to take a bit of extra time, unfortunately. Obviously don't want to release it on Sunday. It's not like I plan, oh yeah, I'm going to just for the fun of it, post my ladder predictions 3 days late. Why would I want to do that? What is it? What benefit is that to anyone? None to myself, none to the viewers. Makes sense I've got COVID. Well, hopefully you rest well and recover soon. I'm not sure your symptoms, if they're severe or not. Because you can get COVID and I only really feel like you have a cold and that can be it. Some people have COVID and don't even realize they have COVID the whole time. I probably had COVID more than twice. I've had COVID twice. The first time I had COVID was in 2022, and that's when you had to self-isolate. Was a pretty shit period, but I still somehow managed to stream like 6 games at home when I was feeling sort of sick. I wonder if I would have had the same commitment if that was the case a year ago. I know. What an account. Who's joined? What account are you talking about? G'day, Lenny. What did you make of Friday night's game? If you watched that or catch the result. It was a fucking wild result. Like I thought the Suns were going to be more clinical because that midfield just so strong, and just so much stronger than Geelong's really. But how about Petrarca? What did he end up having? He had like 34 and 3 goals. Bailey Humphrey could have kicked 6. Ben King kicked 4, yet only had 4 disposals. I'll have a look at it under live chat. Oh, far out. Well, thank God I wasn't under live chat beforehand. There were probably a few more of those messages that I missed. Damn. I think I asked this the other night, but you're going tomorrow night. I will be. I can't remember if you asked. I'm sure others have than I have on the stream already. Yeah, I'll be going with my dad and sister, and hopefully that can be a good night because I haven't had many good nights in the last week, but hopefully that can be like a really positive end to a week, and we get the win, and we get the result. I saw what it said. Well, I saw what the first message said. It's best probably not to read that out. What are my COVID symptoms? I haven't got COVID. What were my COVID symptoms? Feeling like I have like you have no taste. You can't really taste any food. You lose the ability to taste. You are feeling like you've got like your nose is just like dripping like a tap, just constantly. You can't get through the tissues quickly enough, and then you've got like a really bad like headache. It's just that's sort of I guess what I went through during COVID. It wasn't fun, but probably what most also have gone through with COVID. Fuck your stream's lagging. It wasn't lagging, mate. How depressive would it be if you lost to the Pies after the sign of Tim Lembry? I don't even put that through my mind. I just don't think Collingwood have enough forwards, like genuine forward talent in there to kick a winning score. But that's just probably writing them off, and that's probably a little bit ignorant. So, Membry, like he played pretty well last year when he played against us. I think he kicked a couple of goals, 2 or 3. So, trying to think who matches up on him. Well, I'll have a look. I can actually have a look at the squad if I can do my best bit at trying to preview how I think the game's going to go. Maybe do that at halftime if I remember. I'd probably say the Saints might actually end up with more of a crowd though, because it's a home game and they're basically telling everyone to actually get a ticket, and I think a lot of them have. That's why it's such a huge turnout. That's what they're expecting. Because what did we get for the game? We'll just make it 1/4 now. We had the Spuds game in round 2, and that was one of the biggest crowds we played under, but I don't think we got any more than 75,000. It might have been 80. It might have been 80. But probably the fact that it's opening round, first game in Melbourne, and St Kilda's heavy optimism heading into the season. Contrast with Collingwood obviously being a huge Vic site. They only got it 70,000, but it was a Thursday game actually. You're not going to get as high of a crowd on a Thursday. Sunday night, public holiday. So, and a perfect weather. So no excuses to not get like 93. I think 93. I think it'll actually be like the biggest, it could be one of the biggest, probably the biggest of the whole year, home and away, which is not something St Kilda associate with very much at all. Yeah, you don't want the Collingwood army to get behind them. You don't want them to get a roll of 2 or 3 goals because then it's just going to be like whether the Saints have the ability to weather the storm. Oh, yeah, you guys wanted commentary. Let's get the commentary up then. May as well. But I'll have to put the game up on my laptop. I can do that. People are still on holiday now. Yeah, and it's still going to get 93K no matter what. So I didn't catch your message, Blue Moo. Zach might have win the Brownlow. He looks set for a absolutely monstrous year. His biggest year, for sure. Looks primed. He's going to blitz past North Melbourne's midfield. I think Port Adelaide are winning that game quite comfortably, which is weird because I don't have a lot of. I'm not massive on the power. I'm not even really like the power. All right, can we turn up the volume? So I don't need head. Can you guys hear that? You probably won't be able to unless I play around with a couple of magnets here. Monitor off, monitor and output. What's my religion? How come you want to know about that? It's not really something to talk about on the stream. But I mean, I'm Catholic. Yeah, I do have some religion that I follow when I get the opportunity to. I'm not huge, heavily on it or anything like that. I went to 90K between Cats v Saints, a top 2 clash about 17. Was that the final? Yeah, apart from a final, you're not going to really expect crowds of that magnitude at all for a St Kilda game. And even then, like we weren't really getting 90 in the 90 range. I think it was capping at like 80. Are you sure it was 90,000? G'day, Go Tom. How are things, mate? In your life, or are they a little bit all similar? Have you got some cool changes coming around your way? Exciting changes in your life. Do you think Aaron Orton will have a good season? I think they should move him down back. But yeah, he'll be the second forward. He won't kick more than 40 goals, I don't think. Oh, nice lob. Where's lob gonna go? 7 of 4 intercept marks. They're looking to play a little quicker because they're not really doing the kick mark game as much. Oh, you go. How's everyone ending up getting a ticket? I guess it's probably not that difficult if you got in early. Feels like every man and their dog have got a ticket to that Collingwood Saints game. It's not going to be as heavy of a real St Kilda crowd as, or maybe you're just getting rid of the Collingwood fans. So yeah, do us a favour. As long as you're not donning a pie scarf, you better not be Go Time. I just downloaded KO Sports on my PS5. Yeah, it's probably the most used app on my PlayStation 5, to be honest. When I've accepted I'm no good at video games, as Lob has taken another intercept mark here. He's really feeling like he's thriving in his role here so far in this set game. Hopefully he can continue it for the dog's sake. Nothing's really working for Brisbane in the forward line. They're definitely lucky to only be, well, this close, like level scores. It should be more than the margin is right now. Not just because it's 2 goals, 8. Well, that was a terrible kick. It's a waste. It's going to come back. Is it? I think it is going to come back. McCluggage out of the game with a calf. Well, there you go. Advantage Bulldogs. I wonder how serious the injury is. Concerning a little bit. Kennedy gets the quick kick away. A little bit of a contest. There's someone out the back. Should handball it, Williams. Why would you handball it there? That's so rushed. Artie Jones seems to always know what he's doing with the footy. And hey, Harris Andrews, stop kicking it to his advantage. It's a defensive game so far. Like both sides are really getting on top of the each other's forward lines. Lob again. Lob and Andrews. Big fan of Lob now, as you like my comment. He's an overhated player. At least probably by the Fremantle faithful. But they get a free kick. So Logan Morris will have an opportunity here. My thoughts on the NRL. They're doing their own thing, but they're trying to do a little bit too much in making everyone think that their code is better than ours with the way they promote the USA game and all that stuff. Like, just stay in your own league, your own product. People can have an opinion. People can enjoy both if they want to. I don't love NRL though. I wouldn't watch it. It's hard to follow, like for someone like me especially. You can't really be following football that intently, as well as the NRL. It's just very difficult to do so. And what happened there? I looked away for a second, and Charlie Cameron. So Tim English. Oh, that's just poor from Jacks there. Do I have an NRL team? I guess you could say the Melbourne Storm. Just because of a Melbourne base, like local base and all that. And there we go. Charlie Cameron. Wonder if that'll get the crowd up and about a little bit. It always does. It always seems to just give them a spark. But it looks like at the moment they're not feeling footy season yet. Weirdly enough. What do you think about my logo? Sure, I don't even know what it is. I'll have a little look at it. If it'll pop up on screen. Did you create that yourself, or is that like AI or some shit? What actually is it meant to be? M for your name? Nice crown and a magpie. It's better than my old logo. It's got a little bit of personality to it. They're still singing Country Roads. Can the Dogs get a quick response whilst they're singing to shut the crowd up a little bit? They're really winning it out the middle at the moment. Darcy tries to win out the ruck. Libba. Hines. There's space. Can they find a goal? They do. It was McNeil, I think it was. McNeil kicks it. And back to a point. It's been a decent game so far. Although we sort of thought the same thing in the Sydney Carlton game. In a sense, not really. It wasn't really a great game to watch on the eye with how poor the skills were and how low scoring it was. But it was at least... There was a contest, it felt, for the first half. NRL is the most watched on TV. AFL is the most attracted. Yeah, I think NRL is just objectively a better product to watch on TV, because you can get just a better view of the angles of the game, I think. And it's more difficult on TV to watch the AFL because you've got such a wider length of the field. So there's so much more to look for, and it's a 360 game as well. So it probably has a little bit to do with it. But the NRL attendances overall are so much lower than AFL. I'm not sure if it's been addressed heavily. They probably are addressing it, but they're not really seeing a massive rise in numbers. Made it with Canberra. Darcy's been useless. Well, he hasn't done anything. He's in the ruck at the moment. Probably to just, rotate with English and to just help him get a little bit more involved in the game. Oh, how did Ashcroft mark that? One of the smaller guys in the pack somehow got the mitts out, and he'll probably kick this. He's a really good set shot for goal for someone so young. How you got Ashcroft just resting in the foreline like that? They've just got so many plays that can just come in and out of the midfield, the engine room. Oh, he hasn't got that. He's missed. I was really expecting that to go through. Wednesday night and Origin time is super hype though when you're with your friends. Yeah, there's just not that hype for the AFL yet with State of Origin. I wonder if that's what the AFL are going to want to get out of Origin at some stage, if it keeps becoming a consistent thing. But it's hard when you've got to involve more than just the two states. So it's just hard to have that consistency. You can rotate with SA and WA. I watched State of Origin last year. I'm going to watch it again this year. I've got to probably be a little bit more on top of all these things. Like I just not really following it that much. But is there a Melbourne game this year? I'm not sure why we're talking about Origin. I just looked up Origin Energy. I don't care about that. State of Origin, not sure. And even if there was a Melbourne game, you'd assume it's probably already sold out. There is a Melbourne game 2, probably already sold out. But if not, I'd consider going. Oh, it'd be probably expensive. Ashcroft inside 50. Nice stuff, Karmas. Nice stuff. Want to see more of that? I like Buku. I've always liked him. I don't know, just something about his game, just the way he floats around, and just I don't know, brings that aura about it. There's just a bit of aura about him. And Ashcroft tries to go for a bit of a miracle Jackie Chan, kicks out in the full. Hey Al, how you going? How's it going? Good to see you on the streams. Opening rounds hardly had any close games. I know. Why do you believe that might be the case? Like, is it because the sides are sides aren't able to compete with like these, quarter and a half really damaging, scintillating, midfield dominant displays that just open up teams, and that's just way too much for the opposition to handle. As Cameron, I think he's kicked that, and he's kicked his second, and they are finding just a little bit of a momentum here. The Dogs, the Lions, sorry. It's not really the situation you want to be when you're at the Gabba and you're playing Brisbane and Charlie Cameron's red hot. Couple goals to his name. Yeah, not a lot the Dogs could have done there. Turnover. That was from the turnover from Bont. Well, all the games so far, the teams have been so potent. GWS game though, so I didn't get to watch that as intently, but they were up by 50 at one stage, and it was weirdly low disposal numbers, but for high inside 50. So it must have been a real spread of the footy. It's a hard one to sort of judge. Scrap opening round. We'll just call it round 1. No other league calls their first round of the season opening round, do they? Just makes us look silly. Brisbane are starting to get a little bit on top right now, winning some more of the clearances. Logan Morris. He can kick this. He can kick this. Yeah, probably just to the point that they proved is just to silence all the critics going, oh, there's still a chance in 2020. And I'll be honest, I sort of wrote them off as well. Yet I still tip them because I'm not sure about Hawthorn, but I thought Hawthorn with that game, I actually expected Newcombe not to play when I made my call. Another poster. So I still stuck with a tip, but I could have easily changed it to GWS, but I decided to keep it. Luckily, 3 for 3. It's a good start. So even though I'll be semi-supporting the Bulldogs here, because I'm a fan of the Bulldogs. Just like their club, and I want them to compete here for a healthy ending of opening round on the Saturday night. A bit more of a nice stuff. And I like Baker's intent. That was a really good play. Really, really good play. Got the ball, looked to move it quick, and found that pocket of space. And Sam Darcy finally opening up the space and gets it away from his direct opponent and Andrews, who's been pretty good. Definitely been the better of the two. Yeah, Hawthorn's defense. Every time I was like, got the goal. Thankfully, he's kicked it. And he's got his first goal for 2026 as Sam Darcy. Every time I was watching the Hawks try to fumbly, like they were just panicking, like battle impy, they were making many mistakes. Many mistakes. Overrated song now. It's never a song I'd choose to listen to, but it's like if it's on in one of these situations, like you're going to an event and you want the crowd to get involved and sing along, it's probably one of the best songs for that. So it's a perfect goal song. I think every team has a Country Roads for their goal song. Or if not Country Roads, certainly Sweet Caroline. That's another one. It says Darcy's injured on Supercoach, so I got rid of him. I'll get him back. The thing is, I've got a Supercoach league on Monday, and I've got no real clue how Supercoach works. I do, but like compared to fantasy, it's not the same. Oh, Croft has missed it again from the square. Twice. That will really piss off Bevo. Because they had basically an open goal. So I still think the Dogs have done more. But probably would like a lead here. Can you guys? I haven't even got the commentary on the screen for some reason, and I believe the reason behind that is because I'm listening to it. Oh, Cameron. Well, he's gonna. Oh, he's given it off, and he's been bloody smothered. Wow. Solid. Solid play. That was Jake's as well. That was impressive. Yeah, he got a bit greedy. Oh, he just got a little bit caught in the moment a little bit, Charlie Cameron, it seemed. Like, I can understand the intent, but you don't need to do that. Because you can see what happens when you make a mistake like that. So Coleman goes high, long down the line. Allen's there. Pretty scrappy. Dog should clear it. Want to deliberate there. G'day, Footy Flicks. Hawks played a West Coast brand of footy today. Well, West Coast wouldn't score 95 points against the Giants, so maybe they played more of a Melbourne brand. I don't know. What was like for those of what was Hawthorn's intent? Were they trying to go quick? Were they trying to maintain possession with short kicks? What was their intent? I didn't put enough of an emphasis when I was watching, and if you didn't either, that's fine. And a 50-metre penalty goes Andrews' way against Artie Jones for I don't know what reason. Did he run the protected area? Probably. 90K tomorrow night. I'd assume so, yeah. I think there'll be 93. all of the signs are leading that'll be the case. There's just huge promotion for it. Zorko bangs it from 55, and he's still got it, it seems. He kicks like 3 or 4 goals a year, but normally they're all from outside 50. How can that be a 50-meter penalty? That is bullshit. Surely most of the fans would be on the agreement of that shouldn't be a 50 in this game. Too much of a penalty for something so small. Hawks were pretty slow most of the time. I think the Hawks will be all right. They just got unlucky. The Giants were fired up. Hey, the Giants, they love the opening round fixture. They always seem to turn it up when it's opening round, no matter what, no matter who's in their team. So maybe you give that one a let off, but you'd want Hawthorn to respond well with a big win over Essendon, I would have thought. Oh, English plays on. Probably one he didn't need to, though. He didn't really understand it was advantage until it was too late. Norton. Was that Norton with the tackle? It was. They were disorganised down back and they weren't running hard enough compared to the Giants. So they were defensively slow at matching it with the Giants when they went forward, which is their bread and butter, the Giants, when they go inside 50. They do stream in numbers, so it probably would have been difficult to counter that. But they're high inside 50 count for both sides, so they had, I guess, enough entries. They were peppering them late as well, it seemed. The thing is, the Giants are their best 1 in every 3 games, 1 in every 4 games. And I've got less I've got less trust in them being at their best when they're relying on some of these unproven plays at the moment with their injuries. Kennedy goes Bramble. They're playing an exciting brand right now, the Dogs. I'll tell you what. Can they actually hit this last kick? He dropped that. I swear he dropped that. Jakes, wouldn't really be so sure of that one. Croft. Whoa, geez, that was high. Jesus Christ, he could have kicked 3 when you think about it. He marks that, misses 2 from the square. And that would have been mark of the year. Well, that would have been at least the mark of the year so far. If Mac Andrew had on to that one against the Cats, though, that was probably mark of the century almost. Like, that was... Got the second elevation. He went so high, he could have probably touched the... Could have probably had a trip to the moon. Pay a visit to the Martians up there at space and then come back down. He was up there for so long. I got the Giants 11 as they're too inconsistent. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have them as high as they finished last year. I'll tell you that. Croft is having a nightmare. He's played 6 games, so it's hopefully just a lesson for him that he can take on to the next half. That he maybe he has a little bit more time than he thinks, because with a couple of those shots he had more time. He sort of just rushed it. The Mabai had a great mark in the last game. Chol is someone who I'm not like. He's just such an inconsistent player. He can look like a beast and can look like an A grader and can, compete strongly. But he can be that player that the Hawks fans do criticize for just lacking in efforts in contests and not really showing up when he's required at times. I had them 9th. They'll be similar to last year, and they'll be in their finals. Their brand will mostly get exposed. Yeah, it's not like the Giants of a few years ago where I can see them like making a real push into a late grand final push like in 2023. It's hard to know. Are they going to digress, or are they going to come back up? Are they going to bottom out? Seems like they got enough coming through, but maybe get more games into them. So it's 41-34 with 2:30 on the clock. Bulldogs have done enough to stay in this game, but Brisbane still just have a little bit more class, I feel. Reveal goes long. Poor kick. Dogs were set up well. I think they'd probably take conceding 41 points in the first half. Sometimes too casual at times. Yeah, it's a good way of putting it, isn't it? Oh, Rayner in a dangerous spot. He wouldn't put it past his chances there. Misses. 8-point margin here. Couple minutes to go. Rory Lobb's been pretty good. It has to be said. Nowhere to go. So he's just going to go long to a couple of one-on-ones. Can they get it out? Kennedy, I think it'll be... Sorry, that was at Hines. This is giving flashbacks, these scores in the granny. Was it exactly 42-30? Was that the half-time scoreline of the granny? Well, it wouldn't be a very good sign for the Bulldogs then if the second half of the grand finals got anything to do with it. Another 50-metre penalty. They've been very strict on the rule today. Butterick's the one having this shot. I don't know if he's going to... Well, I'll tell you what, I take that back. He's put it straight through. How many goals he kicked in his career? Wouldn't be many. First goal in his new colours. Thank you, 50-metre penalty. $36-36 at halftime. You guys have a better recollection than I do when I was at the game. So it wouldn't have been that exact scoreline then, though. Go time. Do you watch the F1? No, but I've got mates that do, and I'd like to... Well, I was going to go... I was really never going to go, but I was offered to go on Thursday to see them have a practice race, but I wasn't really feeling it, and ultimately didn't go. But I'd like to follow it a little bit more. It's just I find it hard to retain information, and it's fun. It is difficult to pick a new little interest and actually become really familiar with it. I'm not very good at being able to pick it up and spend a long time investing into a new sport or league. I don't know why that's the case. It's probably because I'm not putting in enough of an effort. I must not care enough. Thank you for the donation. Hey, and in case you forgot, would you be able to respond to the tipping donor email? Also, if possible, could you go on the website link website link in email on stream? Well, I would have read your message out regardless of the donation, but I'll still thank you for the donation. What's the tipping dono email? Tipping dono. What dono? I will I'll get to it do you want me to do it on stream? I'd rather do it off stream so I can actually see what it is and use my full mental capacity to work out a proper answer and get back to you in a genuine way, as opposed to doing it on stream and saying nothing for a minute or two. Prize. Oh, all right. Which email address was it through? I mean, I'll check both of them, to be honest. I checked half of the emails the other day, but then didn't get to finishing the rest, and it's just something I know I've got to really be a lot better at, being on top of that sort of stuff very consistently, because it's cost me a couple of opportunities in the past due to my poor planning. Siblings are style to... All right. Well, thank you for being direct and making it clear so I know. Half time, And it is a 3-point margin, but it's anyone's game. It is anyone's game. Hopefully it can, be still a contest in the last quarter. Hasn't really been the case with any game so far this round. Been an odd round, relatively high scoring round. 122, 125, 132. If they can get a win here, it'd be so much for their actual confidence belief, thinking that, geez, all right, well, they're actually... Because Brisbane are very hard to beat at home. You see Brisbane next to the column of games you come up against, and you go, you probably pencil that one in as a loss. You just expect that to be the case. Brisbane are never at their best when it comes to first game of the season, typically. They're never really at their complete best. Still a little bit of rust. So I could say the Dogs might have wanted to be a little bit further ahead. I'm looking at some of the stats here. Zorko has 81 fantasy points. Wow. How consistent is he? He's just getting better with age when it comes to finding the footy and being like potent with it and all that. I'm just gonna have a look at his efficiency. Well, the Victorian team will get a win tomorrow no matter what. So it'd be nice if the Saints were the first Vic side to get a result. But opening ground, it's the AFL love it because it's basically free wins to the sides that are from those states. You look at it even in opening round 2025, Hawthorn were that anomaly. But in opening round 2024, all of the home teams apart from the Lions won. And remember that game we streamed? I think that was when Mackay kicked the winner when they were down by 46 points. Well, thank you, Siblings of Style, gifting the membership to Luke McNabb. Luke McNabb. He asked before if I follow a sport outside of the AFL. The main sport I do follow when, especially when it's the season of that sport, is cricket. However, it is certainly not as close as I try and follow AFL. But I'm someone that if I can get the opportunity to, I would definitely be interested in being more involved in some other sports, like dabble in a bit of NBA if I can, because I do quite like watching some of the highlights when I get the chance to, and same with the Premier League, but don't really know enough to have any proper discussions about the sport. So it's more like I'll just listen in on what you guys have to say if you guys want to talk about that. What do we reckon the second half predictions are going to look like? Will Brisbane start getting their game going a little bit more, or will it be continuation of the Bulldogs just applying that pressure and just limiting the Lions' chances? Let's look at a couple more of the. I wish the AFL app would show you the scoring chains, like how the scoring sources have came about, whether they're through kick-ins or turnovers. Yeah, no, good on you, Luke. Cats look slow. They look really slow, didn't they? That was just about as bad as I've seen Geelong in that third quarter. Second and third quarters was the worst. The third quarter, it felt like they sort of gave up. They were like, well, we know we can't match it. And when Gold Coast kept getting goals and when the heat kept rising, they just were so well adjusted to it and they just kept on going. They just could smell blood, basically just put them away. Just smashed them massively. Effort was there. Well, there wasn't really any effort. Not in that third quarter. And then down back they looked absolutely like it was like they looked like they were falling apart. Really, like Gold Coast just at every opportunity when the ball hit the ground, you'd have Long just lurking around looking for the tackle. Humphreys was so potent. Petrarca, just electric. So I don't know if that means Geelong are in for a tough season, but they should still find a way to make finals. Can't be too reactive over one result. Gold Coast are going to be they're going to be arguably the hardest side to beat away from home. Crowd prediction for tomorrow. Should do like a little crowd prediction challenge. Winner gets a chance to have a dinner with me. I don't know. Probably not a prize many people want. I'd probably say no, I'll go 93,000. I don't think that's too unrealistic, but most are probably saying a little bit less. But I'll go 93,254. Seems like more than ever. Whoever was the better midfield, whoever has the better midfield, as in like in this competition, as it feels like the sides that have the stronger midfield are just the ones that are going to more often than not, benefit from it, I guess, in games. $88,682. That's still obviously huge, but I'd be a tiny bit disappointed if it doesn't crack 90 with just how much the game has been like promoted and hyped and all that. Another membership. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. I can't promise too much at the moment with the member stuff because I'm trying to get the main content stuff all online first. But yeah, I'll have to have a look at what the memberships, the tally is at the moment. If it's what amount, it's probably now less than 100. But if I can find that time to bring back a couple of the member streams, just do whatever I enjoy doing that might not be footy related or even just having a chat about whatever behind the scenes. They took away one of Stan Zorko's disposals. He was on 20 beforehand. Thoughts on Mark Tanovic? Good man. Influenced poorly by the wrong people, though, unfortunately. But he's a funny bloke. Always in the city. And always fun to share a laugh with. Loves a beer. And a double thumbs up. Yeah, look at that. Again, that every single opportunity they get at it, they'll be like, oh, that's the biggest home opportunity for the Saints that they'll get. All of that, just a huge media narrative. Standard rule to be strictly enforced. Yet I've seen 20 instances already where players are moving around on the mark and umps are giving the benefit of the doubt. Is it like a pick and choose sort of situation where it's like, they'll be lenient until they feel like, all right, maybe we should start paying some, and they pay a couple, and then that's shit. That's a shit way of officiating the game. You've just got to either follow the rule that it's been put in place or get rid of it. Do you intend to do the most disappointing teams for each round this year? Well, yeah, I probably will. It's quite the thing is I need consistency, and I need to have consistency with at least a couple of things, whether it be and when we're doing just like content, like maybe the videos you'd want every single Tuesday, the tips to be released at a certain time. That is my aim. I know it's looking like it's going to be a tough ask given my start to the year, and having the Cardi medal, the votes being released for that'll be back. I loved doing it last year, and a couple more community posts for sure. Just getting more of the just more of my community engaged and have them to create more of those discussions. We'll probably continue them, and you were a big fan of them. I remember from last stream. I feel like Geelong is one of them. Well, there are 4, and I'd probably say Hawthorn were the most disappointing because they were the most probably optimistic of those 3 clubs heading into the games to get the win, and they just seem so flat. They just couldn't get things going, and I'm sure their fans would be really disappointed with that start. So I'd probably say if I pick a team, it'd be Hawthorn, because Geelong, you could probably see it coming with some of their outs and recent history against the Suns in those sort of games, weirdly enough, although it was 56 points. So the way Could have been worse though. Thank you, Ollie Dempsey. I'll be doing like a podcast, I think, for each round as I get the weekends, Monday and Friday offs. What sort of stuff will you be discussing on the podcast? Is it like a end of the week sort of thing, or are you doing like more of a preview ahead of the game to head, or talking about the latest news stories more in particular, I guess? People's First Stadium. What about People's First? I've just been to the Cats game in Gold Coast, not going to I hate Metricon. Oh, you were at that game? Shit, how was it? Like, atmosphere-wise, was it half decent? It looked all right on TV, but apparently they were like expecting a little bit more, but the weather scared some people off, which did make sense with the fine conditions the way I saw it. Yeah, it would have been a difficult one to go to stomach as a Geelong fan, thinking you guys are better than that. Geelong and Hawthorn. Well, if I had 4 options right now, it'd be all 4 sides that are lost. So hopefully the Saints are just not one of those teams. I'm not too fussed, but if we slide, oh well, I'm just glad I can go to the footy. Yeah, that's just not a mindset that many Geelong fans have. They're just so expected to be a great football side, and they're just so accustomed to greatness that they are very disappointed even when their side don't make like top 6, or they can't come to a fact of acceptance that, at some stages, your team is just going to have a dip every now and then. AFL Freedom, thank you, mate. 8 months membership. Well, I think a lot of people want the Saints to win, I think, over the Pies. They're a side that hopefully it'll get to a stage where we become quite a hated side because we've posed a threat to other sides, and we're actually a side people don't want to play against. People start to become sick of us and envy our success at some stage, hopefully down in the future, because at the moment everyone's like, oh, we love the Saints. We feel sorry for the Saints. The Saints have only won 1 flag. They've never been successful. They're never a side we can take seriously. So everyone's like, they want the Saints to do well. When they make it to the next grand final, everyone's going to be probably wanting them to win if you're neutral. Unless, I don't know, they played... Would you guys be... If St Kilda played Gold Coast in the grand final this year, would you guys want the Saints to win or the Suns? Because the Suns are another side a lot of people have... I guess a soft spot for in a way. That's probably because they have never really been a threat. They've done nothing for 15 years. But then there's another group of fans that are probably like, well, the Suns have been handed everything by the AFL. They're basically getting a gifted flag here, and then they're a manufactured team that have no history and they have nothing really a basis to call themselves a club from. So I don't know, maybe St Kilda will just be much more like supported by the wider public. I'm not sure. A couple are saying Go Time's got the Saints. Many reckon Suns. What do you guys reckon? Suns or the Saints? I'll react to that previous round, and that I'll be reckoning suspension, and then I'll give my opinion on it as an exam. It's hard. It is really hard to have a unique, like so many unique takes and opinions. I find that as a real struggle for myself, and not just regurgitating what other people in the media have to say. Like actually finding my own opinion, whether it's through stats, whether it's through form. So hopefully this year I can throw a few more genuinely decent opinions that aren't shit. Amazon Pride should have not been hosting the Cricket World Cup. Oh, yeah, that was a disappointing, well, obviously tournament Australia-wise, but it was disappointing having to watch the game on Amazon Prime. They weren't working half the time, and the coverage is a little bit average. What was the Amazon Prime, the T20 World Cup? I literally stopped even bothering checking any of the results. So who ended up winning the whole fucking tournament? Or is it still going? It is still going. And the finals, India, New Zealand. That's what I'm with cricket for the most part. Unless it's Australian cricket, I'm not really going to follow anything that is in Australia. How did Zimbabwe end up doing? Yeah, unsurprisingly, didn't make it to the semis. India, you'd think would probably beat New Zealand if it's a home game for them. Love for the Cats to get a compensation pick in the 4th round. Only got shafted by the league. It is frustrating to find different stats as we don't have that compared to the media. Yeah, and they go through the training. They've got all the stats. They've got the experience in the field for so long and all that shit, I guess. And they're just in that environment where that's their job. They've got more time to break down certain plays, and they've built on those skills for so long that their craft is only strengthening through reps and all that. Again, I've never been great at it though myself. Something I want to get better at. It's like providing more of an opinion on the game and just trying to make more of a judgment and assessment on team structures or how sides are going to, how certain teams play and how they can beat certain other teams on the day. End of the day, I feel like I sound silly when I talk about it. So, I don't know. G'day, Michaela. I guess that's not really been my forte when it comes to content. I don't claim it as that style of my content at all, but I want to be a little bit more, intelligent on that topic, I guess. The advance between the arcs is pure stupid. No, I don't think it's pure stupid. Surely more people are on the agreement that is overall just not a massive problem. It's going to be a forgetful rule. A rule people are going to forget. Should have already been a rule people forget now. Like, it's been in the game for a few. It's been in a rule in the game, pre-season, practice games. We should have come accustomed to it. It makes sense. Keeps the run of the game going a little bit quicker. Reduces the amount of boundary throw-ins. And it's not a massive change. You only got the Amazon subscription for the World Cup, delete it within 2 weeks. Amazon Prime's still so handy if you actually are using it to shop and all that stuff, like using it to shop often, then it's quite worth it. And Amazon Prime have a few pretty solid docos, a few on the AFL that have come out in recent years. I don't often use Amazon Prime though for Prime Video. It's mainly just to get discounts on shopping online and free shipping and stuff like that. But there are a few, like, they got A-League on Amazon Prime and random Bundesliga. Why is the Bundesliga 2 on? Why have they decided to pick the rights to stream those games? Got some dramas, some documentaries, some fantasies. I didn't know the In-Betweeners was on Prime. Actually got quite a bit more of a library than I initially would have thought. What do I think about Coast Club? Why are people asking me that? Does he want an opinion on him from my point of view on the stream? I think he's a good guy. Yeah, pretty basic answer there, but he's a good guy. He's been battling on with his content for a bit. I've been able to get to know him a bit better over time. Saw him in Perth, helped out with videos when I needed the opportunity to. So, yeah, he's a fine guy. Yeah, I don't think the Blues are going to lose. If they learnt anything from last year, they would not afford a repeat of what happened in 2025. But it'd be quite hilarious if they did. But I think they should be they really should be 40 points better than Richmond, like what they really should have been the year before. But probably had more expectations the year before, anyways. And Richmond will have belief that they can actually win. They probably had no belief that they could win that game in 25. Yeah, it's a risk. So what, is Daniel Gorringe going to that game? He probably isn't then, because he does his podcast on the Friday. So I probably assume that on Friday he wants to get in early in the studio and prepare for what he has to say and all that shit. So I don't know if he's going to be at that game, but if he's not, then that maybe he'll never go to another game again. I wonder if he'll actually follow through with that, like when he's 47 and perhaps retired and a little bit less on the public spotlight if he can just sneak into a game without anyone realizing if it's going to be a big thing that he's. I think they're going to. He'll try and get Andrew Dillon to sign something so they can actually, like, literally a contract that he can't enter games. He's permanently banned, which is funny. I think the rule is good for the game, but it's so hard to get. Nah, it's pretty simple to understand. It's actually more simple than the whole deliberate stuff because that's just on the base of what the umpire thinks. There's no definitive guidelines of whether it is deliberate or whether it's not, or what is considered insufficient intent. If it's last touch, kick or handball, no matter what, it's the opposition's ball. Whether it's out in the full, trickles over the line, bounce over the line. I think it's easier to understand. I would have thought. Hey, when it accidentally hits a shoe, rolls out into free. It's just unlucky, isn't it? Yeah. Got to just be a little bit cleaner there. The ball's nice. The Selwood guys looking quite sharp. Bonts, not found anyone. I think that was Payne there. That was in the hole. Leicester. It's going to come back. Selwood gets another disposal. And Davidson marks. Really surprised how the Giants performed today based on their injury carnage. Hawthorn were disappointing. Yeah, it seemed like they couldn't keep up with the Giants for most of the game. The Giants had that 4-goal lead for probably the whole duration. I think it got to like 40 odd points at one stage. Lobb has held his ground so far. 3 on there. Needs to stick the tackle. Should be holding the ball on Fletcher. This is good pressure from the Bulldogs inside 50 because they're not a side that I would assume have a high amount of tackles inside there. Well, inside that defensive 50 part of the ground, but probably also in their forward 50. Although they do tend to lock in the ball better than most sides. G'day, Zay. What do you think about 90K? Yeah, everyone's asked me about what I think. I think that's what everyone's expecting. I've said 93,220 and a half and 3/4. Don't know how you could get 3/4 of a person in a figure. Brisbane haven't been able to get their game going at all. Somehow gets a mark there. But gets in the hole and not really any space. What can Karmas do? Oh, shit, he trips over the footy. Would want that again, O'Donnell. He got rid of it. He got rid of I swear he got rid of that. Oh, he's not complaining. I don't know. Cameron's going to get another shot at goal for his third. And for his fourth. He's already had half of their goaling opportunities. Nah. He does that sometimes where he just bellies the footy. Almost lethargically, just not with real any intent. Kind of just going about the motions. It's still 3 points of margin. It'll be 34 on Wednesday. Fuck, every single time I'm with my grandpa, it's a fucking scorcher. Every single day. It's a coincidence that he decided to change it to fucking Wednesday. And it'll be 34. 34 degrees. Are you in Melbourne on the Wednesday? Flying in, I assume? not much you can do when it's so hot. I'm trying to think of what would be a good idea. Just maybe, fuck, what could you do on a really hot day in Melbourne? You wouldn't want to go to the public swimming pool. That's a bit shit, isn't it? Beach, go to Brighton Beach. Have you been to Brighton Beach in Melbourne? I know it's weird. It's probably not something you'd do by yourself, though. But I don't know what you're wanting to do, what your intentions are. Oh, it was a very, very risky fist out of the air. I think they should be fine, though, the Dogs. Williams sort of skies that. I'll go out of bounds. Really? It's delayed. This game's delayed for you. I've never understood the reason why in 2026 they still have TV broadcast on delay. Like, I just don't understand the real need to have that. No one's going to use the... if it's on Channel 7, no one's going to be watching Channel 7 if the broadcast is an hour and a half on delay. Richards marks. Goes short. I probably need one more. They could probably play on here. Bont. Brownlow, Bont. Hasn't been massive in this game, to be honest, but just knows what he's capable of when he does stuff like that. Bont time for a Brownlow. I think we all want to see it. I say he hasn't been overly massive. He still had 14 disposals and 4 clearances. So maybe I'm just watching the wrong game. Not sure why the Bulldogs goal animation popped up. Wasn't working all stream. Chat K wasn't working. Thankfully, I haven't got that issue right now. I could have that issue, though, so I want to eat my words. Another advantage. They're calling a lot of those. Nice. Sam Darcy. Chris Fagan looking a little stressed there. That was a little bit too easy, the way they walked that out. This is the Western Bulldogs at their best. If they get this side of their game still locked on point, forward of the ball, but then back, like, they've been really solid down back today. Then they could be a top 4 side. They have a lot of the tools. Now, he needs to kick this. And he's missed it. Shit night for Darcy when you really think about it. I think we'll get a decent game, Hotkey. It feels that way, but it also feels like the Bulldogs could sort of put an end to the Lions' early party where they unveiled their flag and all that. I could get genuinely, they could get a 30-point win if the way this game's continues that way. That's just the way I see it. Six 11, 6-7. They've been in it for 2.5 quarters. Bont needs to get rid of it. I think that's done. Rayner takes the advantage. Now, what are they going to do? Why is that not advantage? Or did he not know it was advantage? Why is that not? A lot of uncertainty with that rule. Scoops, isn't it? I'd be shocked if Dogs win and Lob doesn't get a vote. Coach's vote or Brownlow vote? I feel like, yeah, you got to, if the Dogs win, you do have to reward their how well their defense has been so far from what you typically expected them. I'll watch on the other screen. He's kicked the goal. He's kicked the goal. So they're just staying in touch. The lines are never going to go away. It's hard to see them go away, I feel, if they just keep taking those chances. Good pressure inside 50 from Loman on Bontempelli to get the free kick. How wasn't that not advantage? That's horrific. He knew that was a free kick as well. I'm pretty sure he got a lot very lucky there, Rayner. Well, let us know then. Like, let us know what the actual rules are. The umpires don't really make things that clear, or maybe they just don't know either. Last touch was unfair. Wouldn't really call it unfair. It can be unfair, but it only happens like a few times a game anyways. Teams are just going to have to try even harder to keep the ball in, which I'm sure that's probably what they've been doing anyways. Gone are the days where you can just boot the ball down 40 metres down the line and just get territory ahead of the footy. When deliberate wasn't a thing. Which isn't, it still isn't a thing in like junior leagues, so you can still do that. Way of wasting time. So McCluggage is out for the rest of the game, isn't he? I've seen several contests that are 50-50 just happen to be touched by a player and lose possession. Yeah, in that sense, it is a bit unlucky, but how often do those happen in a game? I think you just got to be consistent with the rule. Good tackle, Artie Jones. What's happening? All right, my broadcast on the left isn't working. I'll just watch on the other one. So Revel. And that's a strong mark. Karmas probably should have done better there. Who was that? Ty Gallop. Fuck off. Hey, Pat Kaz. Hopefully doing well. We're doing a little bit better than we were on the last stream. I'm thinking of doing a Brownlow type thing and go through my 1, 2, 3 votes. Views haven't been ideal though, but I'm inconsistent. Yeah, well, you've got to get the votes in every single week. No point in like catching up for 3 weeks and miss votes. But after the success of my votes, as Gallup couldn't score there, maybe more people will be jumping on the trend and doing that. I wasn't the first person to think of the idea, but I think one of the first that I can remember in the scene to do it in a fan voted way. Normally, it's just the creator itself picks the results. But you said you were going to do your own votes anyways. And Gallup check size it through for a behind. So 7, 8, 50, 6, 11, 47. Who do I think will win? It's hard because a lot of the time I'm kind of guessing where I should have more of a judgment of how am I going to see the game panning out from this point onwards. And I'd say the longer the game goes on, the more you are just going to have to trust Brisbane and the way they play their game. And they're in the lead at the moment. So I'd probably still say the Lions, but if the Dogs could have got a couple more goals and they could have got to that like 15-point lead, that's where I could have seen them maybe just hold and extend on that lead for the rest of the game. It's frustrating with my brain injury, and some days I feel horrific. Yeah, unfortunate to hear about the brain injury and how that's sort of affected your life and how probably sudden that was. I don't know if it was like a sudden like illness or whatever the actual problem was, or if it slowly got worse over time. Oh, Loman. He's getting into Selwood. He's not happy over something. Don't know what it is. Should kick this though. to kick your second, and they get a 9-point lead, which will hurt the Dogs. Yeah, it was a good mark. What team would you compare Brisbane to in the English Premier League soccer? Well, I don't know who's the side that sort of jumped on the scene as of late, who have been sort of down the bottom for a bit. It's hard to know because I don't really understand the history of clubs as much in the EPL, so I can't compare it on that sense. But in terms of success, fuck, I don't know. Liverpool have been the one the last couple titles. They've won more recent titles, but it's probably not Liverpool. Don't ask me, mate. Fucking asking the wrong person. Unfortunately, I can't answer that question with a genuine reasoning behind it. Man City of a few years ago you got kicked in the back of the skull. Remember, once again, I don't remember if you actually mentioned that, and I just forgot because I tend to just forget things that people tell me. I tend to forget a lot of the stuff I read and learn, and can't seem to have lock that information in my mind. It seemed to just brush past me. I don't know why. This is where the Bulldogs need to stay strong. Good work, Libba. Oh, Karmas has been locked up. Yeah, I know Liverpool haven't won I know they won the last. City before that won the last few. City have taken a big rise into the ranks, I guess, in the last 10 years. It wasn't that long ago that they weren't even in the... Well, probably like 20 years ago when they weren't in the league. Yeah, they don't have final series. It's a good point. Looks like Loman's kicked another goal. Fuck. Him and Cameron have been the difference, haven't they? They haven't really had any plays stopping them. And they're going upstairs for another goal review. Umpires haven't got any idea today. Well, looks like Lob has touched that. They should... How can you not see that? If you're a goal umpire, you study and you train for these situations quite often. I know there's the pressure, and I understand. He probably didn't see the finger going back. I won't be too harsh. I probably shouldn't be too harsh. So it is a goal. I don't understand that very well, to be honest. Wait. Oh, it was a fucking goal to Oscar Allen. I didn't even see the second part. Because I'm like, that is touched. But it stayed in. I didn't see that at all. I thought that was goal. I thought there was review for the Loman goal. Wow, all right. Well, that's fortunate for him to get his first goal in new colours and extend the lead to 15 points. This is where the Dogs need to be careful that this lead doesn't blow out too much more than it is at the moment. Because they've had a tendency to give up a really big streak of goals, like 6 consecutive plus goals in a row in games against the sort of the top sides. And that's just turning up a little bit more. Lockie Neal. Players like Neal are getting into it a little bit more. Here we go. They've got a little bit of space. Go for the short chip. Go for the short. No, that's fine. They've got heaps of space. Brisbane did not work hard enough to get back. Brisbane had the same rise as Richmond in away or the Lions in the early 2000s. Yeah, but this Brisbane rise, it's just going to stay. They're gonna stay as a threatening premiership contending side for longer than majority of the teams that do make that random jump and then come and fall back down. It'll be sustained success for another 5+ years, I reckon. He's hit the post. It's not the first time they've had a bad mistake like that in front of goals. I'd still think they should be in front if they converted 3 of those chances that were very easy ones. That one, not as easy as some of the others, especially the Croft shots. Well, no side's ever a lock. But Brisbane are the clear premiership favourites. So far, though, from what we've seen. But I tell you what, Gold Coast and Sydney look pretty good, don't they? Lohman goes again. Really busy. Morris goes a little early. Got to lock in the Dogs. Anyone have a live stream? Can't think of an Liga website off the top of my head for you, buddy. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just going to be a bit of a congested battle right now. Who can clear it out? Who has the numbers around the footy? Brisbane v Gold Coast Q Clash Grand Final. I don't think there'll be a lot of excitement for that game compared to what would be a Victorian Grand Final. That's for sure. That'd be pretty disappointing because I just don't think it'd be a great game. Although it'd be an exciting spectacle, it should be at least. Gold Coast will shit themselves on the main stage, I think, if they do make it to a grand final against Brisbane. Jeez, Jones. He does some relatively exciting things, but they're both down. He's still down. Should be a free kick. Yeah, Donald gets the free. And they're stopping time because there's still players on the field. Jones has taken time to get up. They didn't clash heads, did they? Geelong's skills were probably worse than Carlton's, but yeah. Carlton's skills are amateur hour at times. Sydney's in the first half were terrible, and then they just fixed it up. It was probably just first game blues. So Jones got hit accidentally from the elbow of Harris Andrews, so it wasn't in the same contest, was it? Cheers, CJ. I appreciate that. Although this is all sort of created quite a while ago. I haven't really done lots since to build on the stream overlays. I'm probably not going to put much more of an emphasis on actually having the graphics too much more advanced. Over time, I'll probably add to him. Norton's being pretty quiet, and he's not playing that deep. He hasn't really played that deep all game. Wilmot handballs it. Ashcroft does okay to his brother. Davidson. See, when they get those sort of players like Rayner and Coleman with a footy, the crowd just starts to rise, don't they? Not 15. They got lucky there, the Dogs. Oh, he's kicked the goal. Will this be the quarter that just that kills the Dogs here? It may well could be, because I think they've kicked now 4 goals in a row. It hurts when you have a chance like the Williams one from before. You hit the post, because the way they set that play up, that was really promising. And once again, it was that Cooper Hines? Didn't work hard enough. They're not even playing that good, the Lions. I'm not going to lie. That's how scary they can be as a team. Look at this. Another clearance. Cannot collapse the Dogs. Cannot collapse. Poor handball. Threw that out. It looked like he threw that out. Call a throw or he slapped it. Shit. It's 26 points. They've called it a goal. And the Lions have broken the game open now. Floodgates are starting to really pound on the Dogs here. They've conceded 5 goals in a row. They haven't been able to address this concern. They were able to do it for a half, and now it's just back to the same old problems and issues for Bulldogs. Fuck, you're watching a different game, AL. Bont, fumble, Neil, inside 50, one-on-ones. Lob can't do a lot there. Handball was poor. He scooped it out, although it looked like he also dropped it, didn't it? Yeah, that definitely should have been a free kick to the Bulldogs. Perfect chopper Reed needs to go. Well, if this is an indication on the entire 2026 season, then nothing's really going to change, is it? And they haven't done anything forward of the ball either. Like, they haven't been potent in front of goals at all. Only 6 goals. Norton's got a lucky free kick just to help them stay in the game in some sense. Need to kick this. And that's the... Oh, he's kicked it. It wasn't convincing. Look at that. That almost looked like it was actually going to sneak through for a point. But that's probably the goal that they definitely needed. 100%. I think it was a downfield free kick. You were very close to tipping Dogs. Only 6% did. I'm not overly surprised, I guess, because of Brisbane's. But I just think, yeah, the Bulldogs, this is a sort of a scalp they could have easily taken advantage of a Brisbane side that might still be a little bit sore and battered coming after a pre-season after winning the flag. An extended pre-season the Dogs would have had over the Lions, and they would have had more to prove as well. So the Dogs weren't that far off the 2 times they played Brisbane in 2025 as well. And in this game, they're still not that far off, but just that 10 minutes of play could cost them the game. And could get another one here at the back. Got to get to it. Oh, almost. Allen tries off the ground. O'Donnell, good enough to apply the pressure and affect the kick. Yeah, it is only it's 21 points now, so it's not the game's not over yet, but I don't think the Dogs are going to do enough to overtake 21 points on the scoreboard. Here we go. Better opportunity. Riley West. Is it going to come back? It's missed. So, I mean, look at all the options that he had in front of goal as well. Such a waste. They'd be really frustrated right now. Now, Brisbane's kicking's gotten a lot better as the game's gone on. The Dogs just can't kick for shit, then they go inside 50. That's as clear as day. So they can't finish. Lions winning's better for us. Yeah, probably is. You wouldn't want them to start... You wouldn't think they'd want to start 0-2, but they're capable of starting 0-3 and still making a really deep run. Charlie Cameron. How's there a player? Well, there's a free play in the square. It won't matter. He'll just do it himself. And he just... he's so nonchalant about it as well. Far out. Could that almost just be the game? That will probably be close to game. It's the fourth time they're going to play Country Road. He's looking like he could kick 5 or 6. Like a 55-meter kick. He doesn't often kick those unless he's like really on song at all. Had to mute it. Sick of Country Roads. It's only shit when I'm there at the Gabba and it's against the Saints and we're down by 40. Got to kick this, Darcy. Nice response. Nice response. Did that really quickly. Still heaps of time. So 81-61. I said it earlier that Brisbane, they haven't scored 100 in a home and away season. I think in the last 15 games, they've done it once, and that was against Port. And of course, the team that they're going to score 100 against likely would be the side that can't defend. And Wooden Spoon, Woody's in the chat, puts a decent point there. Exactly. It doesn't seem like they've changed much. It looked a lot better in the first quarter and in the second as well. But then it started slipping away. They got a little bit, I don't know, impatient. They went back to their old ways. Don't know what it was. Brisbane's pressure lift. That would probably be part of it. More entries they also were getting in a quick succession. Good to see you on the stream though, Woody. And cheers for the messages this week as well. If I didn't get back to your last one, I will try to do that tonight if you still would like being kind of off social media this last couple of days. Williams should just, well, he kicked this goal now. Oh my God, the party tricks. Have you ever seen a goal quite like that? That is inspirational stuff. That actually could get them back in this game, not going to lie. How the fuck has he not been tackled there? He had like 4 chances to move around the pack and he somehow kept going there and he actually got a goal that, you know, they've been so hard to come by for the Bulldogs. Look at that. So he gets the footy. Allen slips over, couldn't quite get it. Andrews looks like Andrews and Wilmot. Wow, they both look like clowns in that pasture play. Shit. It almost looked like he didn't know what he was doing half the time, but no, he pulled it off. And it's just random that Bailey Williams was the player that kicked that when he kicked 2 points beforehand as well. So 1 minute 10. 2 goals against the run of play. I still think if the game trends the way it's going, it'll be definitely a Brisbane win. So Bulldogs, if they're going to win this game, they're just going to be so potent when they go inside forward 50. It's probably going to end up having to be a shootout for them. Unless they can address those defensive problems in the last quarter. Here's a chance they're going to go again. Williams kicked one before. Kicks it from 50. Misses. He's kicked 1-3. Goal of the year for now. Petrarca's goal would be up there as well, I would have thought. Who kicked a really good goal? Oliver in the previous game. So it's actually a manageable margin now, 13 points. You give them a sniff. You will give them a sniff. But it'd be unfortunate if the Dogs get really close, but still can't get the job done. Because this is really where the lines are gettable in these games. Dogs can come back from this. Well, they're not going to win the game if they let Brisbane, you know, walk it into the 50 so easily and make all those mistakes defensively like they have every year, every game, every same story. 81-68. That was actually a more exciting quarter, though, compared to the first two, for sure. Even though the Lions got away a little bit, but they got a couple goals back. Yeah. One more quarter to go. I got 70 odd in chat. 80 odd in, yeah, 80 odd, 55 likes. Hit the like button, guys, if you have enjoyed. Goal of the century. Well, I haven't really seen a goal quite like that at all. I'm really trying to think of another similar goal to the one that we just saw from Williams just then. Anyone think that Cam Rayner will score a goal? Well, he's kicked 30 goals. So you would think he'd kick a goal at the Gabba on average if you put a multi on him or something. He's only had the 12 disposals. He hasn't had a massive influence. But he's a player that only needs 10 minutes. Dogs could win the flag. They'd be, I guess, in the mix of teams that could win the flag, but probably not for mine, I wouldn't have thought. Probably not for mine, but intriguing to see what happens in the last quarter. They can't let the other Lions get the first or the first couple. Otherwise, they're just gonna keep having to try and respond and cut back the margin. It's a bit of cat and mouse. It's not gonna work in their favour. Got to start the quarter off with a bit of momentum and just create a bit of an arm wrestle. But even then, I'm not trustworthy with the Dogs in those situations at all. So I can't show the game, no. And Rayner's score a touchdown. Yeah, Cam Rayner's just going to walk over the line and score a touchdown. Cost them the win. 5 points down. Wild's open goal instead of putting it through. He fucking throws the ball onto the ground. Wrong sport. All right, what are our last quarter predictions in this game? I'm going to say the Lions flex their muscles late and win by 26 points, and it'll be a bit of same old. It'll be another high-scoring quarter, 6 goals to 4. It's been a tale of how the opening round games have gone, to be honest. Quite high scoring for a lot of the games. Yeah, well, what was the biggest concern from that game? Apart from the third quarter, what was your biggest worry heading post game as a Carlton's perspective? Lob 12 disposal and 100% efficiency. Still says he has 1 turnover. Do they count turnovers if you spoil the ball, but you spoil it straight to like a Brisbane player? Because if that's the turnover, then that might make sense. It's not really as an effective of a disposal. All right, one more quarter to go of what they call Super Saturday. The Dogs, I don't know if they'll lose many followers after this performance, but we'll see how they stick tight in the last quarter. They'll need an inspirational stuff from Marcus Bontempelli to get them over the line. Maybe just get all the players to just listen to what he has to say. How's English doing fantasy-wise? He hasn't actually been that massive at all, 64 fantasy, so he's not going to get 120. Neither is Fort. Neither Ruckman's really had massive say on this game. You'd assume that. Again, I'm kind of just I'm making an assumption. They'll have. How's Zorko actually after that hit that he had? It doesn't help when the Dogs have only had 36 inside 50s. Their strength has been getting the ball inside 50 in 2025. They normally can get 55 to 60, even against some of the better sides. They'd probably be ranked like first or second for inside 50s themselves. So not getting enough entries when they actually get those chances, and they've conceded 48. So ultimately, it'll get to a stage where there's too much to handle. I'm just concerned and tired that every time we play it every single time. Questioning their intent and their fitness, I guess, for the Blues sort of point of view. But it was just sort of the one quarter that was a real problem. Everything else didn't seem too bad. They probably would have liked to get a little bit more output from when they were on top of the game. Oh, the Japanese killed Miami Dolphins in South Park. Good to know. Whenever I next put on South Park, which probably won't be anytime in the near future. Yeah, Bulldogs haven't really been hot starters in previous seasons. When was the last time they finished the opening round or the round one with a win? Who did Brisbane play last? Who did Brisbane play in round one last year? Was it Sydney? They just won that, didn't they? Nice. This is just a little bit more promising for the Bulldogs. One-on-one. Good work, Andrews. Good thing about Darcy is he can stay on his feet. So he's good in the air, but he's good on ground level. I've got to lock this in. Here's a chance. Bont. Has to convert. English. Needs to convert. Yeah, he's kicked it. Nice. So English gets into the game with a goal and reduce the margin to 7 points. I need to get that first one. They get the first one quickly. So it's not over this game. By no means. That was a poor handball from Coleman. Didn't really know what he was doing there. Kind of panicked there, the Lions. Could the Dogs run over Brisbane? If their stars get first hand on the footy, it's a real midfield battle at the moment. Brisbane get the clearance this time round. Lob's just got to continue to be strong in this last quarter. They've got to play more tight as well. Not allow the Lions to just get out in pockets of space. Butterick just clears it long. He probably just wanted territory, but remember, with the new rule, you got to be a little bit careful with that. 18:43 on the clock, 7-point margin. When will the AFL cards come out? I think it's in a couple of weeks. They've always normally released it. They normally always release it around a week and a bit away from the start of April, so mid to late March, I'd say. Lockie Neal, he's actually got nowhere to go. Bombs it high. That's not going to favour anyone. Shouldn't allow the Lions to mark that. And takes it over. Really, really intriguing contest, this. How's Zorko doing? Well, I don't know exactly what is happening right now, but he got off the field midway through the third quarter. I'm not sure if he's still on the bench or if he's cleared to be back on the ground, but he's provided that drive that he always does, that connecting kick. He's had 20 touches in the first half. Quite influential, like he always is, to be honest. Kennedy, high ball. That's probably going to go... Oh, no, Zorko's back on the field. Never mind. See, I forget a few things. We found a target in Allen. But it's going to be like just about as impossible as it gets from a set shot. So I'm not really expecting this to go through. Oscar Allen, how many attempts at this end of the ground and this pocket has he had? He wouldn't have many attempts at practicing these sort of shots. Let's go on the shot though. Looks okay actually. Oh, it was really close. Didn't quite have the journey. It is a little risky though. The Dogs need to just play the risky game though. No use in going long down the line. Turn the ball over though. They should be able to set up behind play at least. Cameron. Oh, that's very unfortunate for the Bulldogs. Allen had a lot of space there. Now they can go. They really can go. The Lions are out of position. Darcy's out the back. Bont. He is playing the forward line this quarter. West. Yes. The Dogs. 2 goals to start things off in this quarter. And they've silenced this Gabba crowd. Bont has been so important in that forward line. He's creating so many chances. And he actually had the poise to finish the shot and put it through the middle. Once again, Aaron Andrews not in the right position. Not a bad kick, because it was never going to be a mark to Andrews if that kick was, kicked over his head. 2-point margin. Still, though, plenty of footy to go. We'll see what they can do. Brisbane will get the clearance here. Davidson, they're going to get a downfield free kick, I think. Bailey's going to play on. Zach Bailey, quick reply, misses. Misses. Butterick. Pretty solid stuff from Fletcher. That is why he's one of the best youngsters in the competition for the Lions. Wilmot. They're bombing him. Butterick. Was that? No, O'Donnell. Shit. That's just applying so much pressure. Unnecessary pressure. Lobs is... he's done okay there. But they didn't need to do that, did they? That's just a silly turnover. Cameron. Oh, O'Donnell. Oh, very freaking lucky. Look how annoyed Cameron is. He knew he had that. And that would have been for his 5th. Jesus Christ. They're never a side I can be so trustworthy of when they have all these skill errors in one-on-one positions. Really hoping Lions wins because I've gotten all my tips wrong so far. Really? Geez, you played the risky game this week. Maybe excuse the Hawthorn tip. Well, I probably can. Most people have, but... Carl, you'd be either a one-eyed Blues fan or lost a fucking punishment or some shit. Now, Bont will probably find the... And he does. He's very smart with ball in hand, Bont, and sets up Richards, who can put the Dogs in front for one of the few times today. To be honest, I can't tell you how long they've been in front for. They've been in front 7 minutes in this game, the Dogs, compared to the Lions 93 minutes. So I have a lot of belief they can hit the lead, but they got to keep going. They can't just slow it down. They've just got to keep going. And he's put it through. So the Dogs have kicked 3 goals to Brisbane 0. It's huge belief now for the Bulldogs. Really exciting stuff. No, I don't think Andrews gets weeks because he wasn't. They're not even considering Andrews getting weeks, surely. But what? Just because he caused high contact on Jones, is that going to be looked at? Because surely he'll get off for that. He wasn't even. He didn't even know he was there. Will. There is a new whistle ad. I've already seen it. It's going to be annoying to see them replay and prolong and drag and basically prolong the suffering of what was a shit ad that should have been buried and dead. That should have been buried and dead in 2025. Although I can understand their point of view why they have it again. It's good marketing strategy, that ad. It did them a lot, I reckon. Instant reply, Brisbane. It's a shootout, a real shootout here. It's what I anticipated heading into this game. We didn't really see it until it started to open up a little bit when more of the uncontested footy were won by the midfields, getting the ball, clearing it out, and finding the disadvantage, the defensive disadvantage, and it's led to a Brisbane goal here. Logan Morris. How many goals has he kicked? What is it now? 90 plays 86. And Morris kicked 3. Charlie Cameron's kicked 4. Loman's also kicked 2 goals for Brisbane as well. Who's best on? I can't watch it. Bont Richards for the Bulldogs. They've been very like Bont's been just in every moment that they create scoring chances, and Richards has kicked 2, had 23 for himself. Zorko's been good for Brisbane. Dunkley, Charlie Cameron with the 4 goals. Harris Andrews early on. And Rory Lobb has been probably their best player in defence for the Dogs, although she's starting to make a couple of more uneasy use of the disposal with when he gets it. So it's got to be a little bit more. Just got to be a little bit more switched on. Coleman snaps it. Pressure's now back on the Dogs, even though they've started this quarter off red hot. They've got to keep going. Who win for you? Scoops wouldn't have had Bont in the top. I don't know what would actually lead him to have Bont in his any list, like a top 50 or top 10 would have probably still been justified. But top 50, I can't believe he's not even in that. But you sort of can when it's him that made the list. Free kick to the Lions. Zorko will get that. Zorko rarely misses a kick, does he? This is the thing that will piss me off with this new rule, though. If they're going to do these not even score, they just umpire, they're having these reviews. Oh, they decided not to go the review. They just went the throw, and I guess in doubt, that's better off. If in doubt, just throw it in. I like that. Bont's fucked my... How's Bont fucked you, multi? Oh, he's only had 18 disposals. Well, he's been playing in the forward line. And it's a good move from Bevo. Because they've still got enough talent in the midfield that they reckon that they can match with Brisbane's, which probably have just about as stacked of a midfield as any team in the comp. Although McCluggage is out of the game with a calf injury. The Ashcrofts, Bailey, goes down the wing. Allen. And another 50-metre penalty. This fucking stand rule is annoying me. So I reckon that they're going to enforce it more strictly. But there were times when they have decided to let it go and not give a shit about it. In this game, they've especially been strict on it. It's a really annoying. It's hard for the players to get used to. Who did I tip? Well, you can see it on the graphic. Got the lines but 12. I've got the margin kind of close right now. Allen's going to be in range. The good thing in Allen, he hasn't been overly effective, but he's just been creating chances for Brisbane as another tall option. I guess with that Hipwood, he's been quite a useful asset for them in front of 50. Another tall player to kick to, and he's got the quality. He's missed that one though. 1 goal 3, 91.86, 113 in chat. It's not bad. Not a good kick. It could be a free kick to the Dogs. No. Looks like the game's slowing down a little bit. They go on the switch, but they're not getting a lot from these kicks. They're sort of just trying to find an opening. They're not really finding it much at the moment. Zorko scanning around the ground. Short kick. Dov's just got to be careful for any runners out the back. Hello, Caleb and Luke. Has the game finished? Well, what sort of a question is that? I'm talking about the game as we're speaking. Zorko said 30. Neil's had 30. Zorko's had 28. Kennedy, stop wasting the kicks like that. They're just going to go straight back. That should have been a mark. I don't think it is a mark. The Dogs have slowed it down a little bit. Here we go. They've got a bit of an opening. Richards, how good's he been in this game? Poised. Baker takes the run. Oh, he probably shouldn't have given it off there. Richards gets it again. It's not a shot, but it's a pass. 2-on-1. Revilda's okay. Could be high. Should be a goal. Davidson, does he get the goal? Yes. Sam Davidson, 10 on the clock. Dogs lead by a point. They're finally able to get these inside 50s turning into scores and goals. Not just behinds, not just really shitty kicks in front of goal, like wasting shots. They're actually, yeah, looking really dangerous. Draw could be on. Well, that's something I wouldn't back in. I wouldn't be backing a draw from this point onwards. The willingness of these two sides and wanting to score, even if it's a draw with 20 seconds to go, they'll probably find a way to score a last minute behind. Probably Brisbane's way as well. I'm quite behind, by the way, actually. I just realised I'm like 8 or 9 seconds behind. Hopefully it's not a huge effect on the stream. It's normally, normally I'm not too far behind, but I've just realised the other screen's a bit further ahead. They've gone inside 50. Oh, let's just refresh KO. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. No one's really paid too much of an attention to it. Fought off the ground. It's dangerous having the ball in the middle there. The Dogs have the numbers. Dangerous kick, but it works. Darcy looks for someone. Bond's got the space. It's Bond. Bontempelli, Mr. Brownlow. Can actually pay so much this video to be 20. It normally isn't a massive issue. It's more of an issue when you're on live streams when I guess you want to be a little bit ahead of the game in the chat. But I'm not sure why it's more behind than on live TV. What can the Bont do here for the Dogs? He's done so much for them for the last 10 seasons. And of course he puts it through. He's kicked his third goal. Marcus Bontempelli. What an inspiration for the Bulldogs. Huge move from Bevo to put him down forward, and it's paid the dividends. 98-91. Look at that. Most players wouldn't have been... They just wouldn't have moved in a spot like that to call for the ball. They just would have stayed stationary. But not the Bont. 98-91. They're up by 7. Let's see. This will test a bit of their maturity if they can hold on. 8 minutes to go. I haven't really been in many of these scenarios where they've been in front against a really top side away from home and held on. 5 goals straight this quarter as well. Exciting game. Perth won. Oh, I don't really care. Not the time for that. Now they're inside 50. They look so potent in front of goal. Geez, Brisbane are feeling the pressure right now, aren't they? This is the best game we've had this year. 100%. 100%. It's ebbed and flowed. At one stage, I thought Brisbane would run away with it, win by 40 points. But right now, it looks like the Dogs are in the box seat. Darcy gives it off. Couldn't find anyone. Ashcroft does it right in traffic to Neil. Got to get rid of it. But there's no calmness with the way they go about it. The Lions are going to get it back. Congested forward 50. I reckon just kick it on top of Darcy's head. Let him do the rest. Nice. That was experience there from Andrews. Harris Andrews is going to have a lot of a say in the next 7 minutes of this game. Now they're going quickly. They're just turning defense to attack, and they're doing it with style. Morris. Rayner. He's been quiet and solid stuff from O'Donnell. That would have been harsh if they call that over. Deliberate. Why would Jack Silvani go forward tomorrow, though? Yeah, I don't think he's had a single training session where he's been even attempted in that position. We need him as that defender. Yeah, that second, third defender alongside Wilkie and Caminiti. Probably will never get used as a forward for us. We've got... Geez, that's going to not even score. Still be a throw-in. How many contested possessions has Neil had? He's been everywhere in and under the contest. Fort wins out the ruck. Somehow gets the kick across and kicks the goal. Of all people, the unlikely hero, Darcy Fort. Fucked it up beforehand. But makes amends this time round. This has been really quality footy. Cripps could never do... Apart from the game against what was it, Brisbane in 2019, where he basically put his team on his back. Yeah, there are a few instances where Cripps has actually been able to do that. He's not really a goal-kicking mid. He was very disappointing against the Swans. He was much better as a I never rated him as a forward anyways that much, Jack Silvani. I think he played his best footy as a defender anyways. That's why we recruited him. We didn't recruit him to play in the forward line because we've already got defensive, a few defensive concerns with like Webster retiring, and Howard has not really been massive on the park. Battle at being out of the side. We didn't look great last year structurally. Here's a chance. Neil, the Lions, another opportunity. What can the Dogs do? They fuck it up. As usual, they fuck it up. As usual, they fuck it up. Rayner puts it through, and it's back to a lead for the Lions. They lead it by 5 points, and he's got his goal. For the guy in the chat that said, will Rayner kick one? Well, he only needs a couple of minutes to be an influence, and at the moment, he certainly influenced that play. He's the X factor the Lions so desperately to keep a hold of, and a 5-point margin. Yeah, it's what a bloody last quarter though. It's so exciting. Who knows what's going to happen next? Karmas, it was Karmas's fault there. Gave him way too much space and just watched him. Huge from Rayner, I know. Not many players are like capable of those of making those moments happen. But he backed himself in. Now it's back down to the Bont. But he's been thrown into the midfield because they probably want to start winning more of the footy. Because at the moment it's been the Lions the last 4 or 5 minutes. Even if the Lions kick the next, I'm still in belief the Dogs can get 2 quick ones in a matter of minutes. Sorry, I was about to sneeze, but it never came through. There's still plenty of time. There's over just under 6 minutes with the margin being 5 points. It could go either way. And it's high scoring footy. You want to see that as well. It just started to open up in that third quarter. So the last touch rule affects the Lions there. The Dogs are going to go inside 50. Lots of Brisbane numbers. Gardner just clears it. Kind of rushed it there. Bulldogs have plays back, but so the Brisbane. But no, they have no one forward of the footy. This is a real test of the Dogs. Just stay man on man, I would have thought. Morris slowing it down. Going backwards. Ashcroft. Ashcroft has showed his class, and he's going to take. He's got the willingness to take it on, but not really to the advantage of anyone. Although Reville in the right spot. He's a booming kick. Karmas needs to mark this, and he does well. No, he does, and he drops it, and it's unfortunately for Rayner's sake, he couldn't get the goal, and that's kind of lucky. Jesus, they can't deal with this pressure, Bulldogs. I've got no trust in them when it goes that way. They've just got to rely on their attack, which might be the case for this whole year. Huge game for the Bulldogs here. They've got to get the win if they want to have belief. Great kick. And Norton, that should be 50. Yes, it is going to be 50. It's going to be 104-104 with 4.5 minutes on the clock. Jeez, wow. Another twist in this game. That was a great kick from Richards. Straight to the advantage of Norton. Went quick. Richards' game is probably a match-winning performance if they do get over the line. It's 104-104 though. Quite a satisfying scoreline if you ask me. Did not need to do that. And it was no guarantee that Norton would kick it from that spot as well. He hasn't really been on his A game, so you don't want to just give him confidence with 4 minutes to go. Now that, he's in the forward line, and now you're going to have just a little bit less confidence with that play. He's going to have more belief that he can maybe be the winner, be the game changer with that goal, perhaps. 104-104, 4 minutes. English wins the tap out. Ashcroft, strong tackle. Zorko gets the free though. Probably for high. Whose calls it for the draw? Dogs and Lions plays bangers at the Gabba. Yeah, it was at the game last year at the Gabba when Ashcroft kicked the late goal. Wasn't quite as enjoyable of a game, to be honest. It sort of only started to be interesting in the last quarter. Dunkley goes inside 50. Rayner again. You've just got to apply more pressure. And Cameron, wow. So when they're on with their goal kicking, they seem to not have any doubts. But when they've got the goal kicking blips, which they have at the moment in these weird positions, right now it seems like Cameron's got the goal kicking blips. It's just contagious. So 15-15, 105. 15-14, 104. The Dogs have just got to keep taking the game on, I feel. Because that just is what's going to... Here we go. Richards again. Can he be another? Yes, he can be another one to goal assist. Tim English, my man. He's going to kick his second of the quarter. How many goals have they kicked in this last quarter? I think this is for their 7th. This is pure end-to-end footy. They're probably one of the best ball movement sides when they're on. Beautiful ball movement. English will kick this. He'll have to. And he does. The Otis is now in Brisbane. They've got to get the next. What are they capable of here? What have they got up their kit bag? How good would it be if Dennis would call this one? Just need Dennis alongside me. He can take it from here. I'll just watch it. I'll watch and write down notes. Yeah, so they're doing the analysis there. English running from the centre. Fort just doesn't have the petrol tickets. Great running. This is footy. This brings me back to feeling good about just footy coming back in general. I wasn't really feeling hugely optimistic with the way things have been in my last week and a bit of life, but fuck, this has just turned things around quite a bit. I'm really happy I've decided to watch this game with the people in chat at the moment. Dunkley gets tackled in the middle. Fraser, English fumbles and will get the free kick. He's winning that ruck battle right now, isn't he? All right, I'm looking at the other screen now. Williams, he's put it to the left, so it's a even 6-point game. You put points wrong for the wrong team. Shit, you're right. Yeah, sorry. I think that's fixed it. Thanks for the clear up. That would make quite a bit confusing for those that have just joined us. And it says that they've got 11, which would be quite comical. Ashcroft wheels it out. Lob, he's playing quite a bit far up the ground. Probably further up than you would like. Nice work. And looks like it'll be a boundary throw-in. 1:24. All right, I'm looking at the other screen now. So I can't take my eyes away from the other screen, which is slightly more ahead. Dogs have numbers around the footy, but they're fumbly. They're going to take it out of bounds. There'll be a throw-in. I might just have to look at the other screen now, to be honest. Poor effort from the Dogs, only scoring 11. Yeah, not usually the commentators are this excited about a game with a 94-point margin on it. Normally there wouldn't be so much intensity for a game with a team on 11 at this late into the game. 59 seconds though. Bulldogs shouldn't lose it from here, should they? Darcy's playing the ruck position right now. Majority of the numbers are towards the left side of screen. Surely they've matured here. Maybe not. Lohman quick kick misses, and now they have a chance at winning the game, which is going to petrify the Bulldogs right now. What have they learnt? It probably won't. I don't think it can be a draw now. Kick out. Will it come back? It'll go out of bounds. It was touched, so it'll be a throw-in. 37 seconds. An incredible game of footy this has been. Great way of rounding out Saturday night opening round, because it looked like Brisbane were really running away with it late in the third quarter, but the Dogs steadied back thanks to the likes of English and, well, English in the last quarter, but more so Bontempelli and especially Ed Richards in the middle. Good stuff, Lohman, Dale, Kennedy. Quick kicks from Richards. It's going to come back. This is the last hurrah for the Lions. Can they get a quick pasture play? They've got to be flawless from here, really. Zorko, what's he doing there? That was too dangerous of a kick. Why would you go in the middle of the ground like that? I know you're creating a chance, but that's just... It's going to cost them big time. Norton going to be getting the late goal. It won't matter anyways. He kicks it. I don't know if that was after the sign or not, but that was an incredible game of footy. What a win from the Bulldogs. Proving the doubters very, very wrong that they can actually win against the heavyweights of the competition, such as the Brisbane Lions, and that was an absolute treat to watch. What a win. Look at the Dogs fans. Where's Blake? Really exciting game. How many goals did Bulldogs kick in the last quarter? My guess is 7. It just looked like it wasn't going to play in their terms. They kicked, they kicked 7 goals to Brisbane's 3. Wow. Because I didn't have the commentary on for the other screen I was watching, so I didn't even know if Norton kicked it over the line. I don't think it was a goal. I think the siren just sounded beforehand. 3 votes, Ed Richards, 100%. He was unbelievable. How many score involvements did he have? I'd love to see a stat for that. I really would. But they were all tough in the middle, the Dogs midfielders. I still have a few question marks over the Bulldogs. Still leaking 106, but their attack is lethal enough to win them games just through that. Greatest sport in the universe. When games are like that we've just watched, it's hard to disagree. Legendary commentary. Oh, cheers! I certainly have work some in my craft to get better at, but I appreciate it. I sometimes can find it a little bit nerve-wracking under the pressure of the moment. You want to make it your own, don't you? Enjoy the Saints game tomorrow. Thank you, mate. Well, I have my ladder predictions out tomorrow at 11 because I've done them all today. Spent all day on them, so looking forward to releasing them finally a bit later than normal. But hey, I'm happy to this stream got a good kickstart. Really exciting game of footy that was. I feel bad for anyone mocking Brisbane, and honestly, they're going to cop it later this year. No, I think Brisbane will be all right. Had enough chances themselves, to be honest. What did they end up getting inside 50 wise? 63 inside 50s to 50 at the end of the day. So, just a solid game. So now they'll be going into round 1, feeling like they actually are capable of beating anyone. Who are they playing round 1? I think it's a winnable opponent. It is the Giants. After last week, though, it could be more exciting of a game. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for watching the stream. I appreciate all the eyes that we got at the end of the game, particularly when it got late. Again, still finding my craft with the analysis side of things and not mumbling and fumbling over my words. I still have got a little bit of the self-doubt over the last week and a bit with the cloud surrounding the mind at the moment. But anyways, hopefully you're enjoying the stream. What a game. And we'll see you soon. Hopefully for a better next week with some more consistency. So yeah, cheers for watching everybody, and we'll see you soon. What a game. Good.